Traveling is a skill, and like any other skill, you can master it. Hi, my name is Tanya, and this is Max and Travels. Here we talk about traveling and managing your personal finances while doing so. I started traveling when I was 18, and since then I never stopped moving around. Living in Europe is great because you can access so many countries so easily, and it's pretty easy to find cheap accommodations and cheap flights. Even if you have a crappy job, traveling becomes accessible. My first time moving abroad, I went to London. I wanted to go there to learn English. And I was 18 years old, I didn't have much money. I never had a job before, so the only money I owned was the one my parents and my relatives gave me for my past birthdays that I saved up. And everyone knows it. To learn a language, you have to go to the country where they speak it. But how can you do it if you're broke? I decided to become an au pair. It's basically a babysitter with the difference that you live with a family and they provide you a room and board and a weekly pocket money. Doing that allowed me to live for a year in the UK, in a little village just outside London, and I managed to save up some money as well. I paid for my English course by myself, and I managed to visit places like Oxford, Cambridge, Brighton, and so on. And I also managed to save up for a tattoo that I wanted to get. But what if you're dreaming to see more of the world and go to places like New Zealand and Australia? Here is where most people freeze and they start saying things like, it's too expensive, I could never afford it, and blah blah blah. I assure you that traveling is not impossible. Coming to this side of the world, it's not that difficult. You just have you need a little bit of planning and a budget. So I was working as a waitress, and it doesn't pay much. So what I used to do and still do nowadays is to work for 6 months, save as much as possible to cover for the cost of flight, the visa, health insurance, and the first 3 months of accommodation, because I always want to have a place to feel safe and to stay for the first 3 months, just in case things go sideways. It never happened, but you just never know. Having a steady job, long term, has never been into my interest. I chose to study tourism and languages so that I could travel. And I chose to let go of stability so that I could see more and experience more. This is a life choice. I totally understand that it cannot be for everyone, and it's totally okay if you don't feel the same way. But please don't let your limiting beliefs stop you. Traveling a lot is possible. You just need to look at things in a different way. And right now I'm in New Zealand. I'm living here and working here, but I'm traveling as well. Due to my working holiday visa, I have a limit of 3 months to work for the same employer. So I cannot work more than 3 months for the same company or person. This could be a problem for many people, but I decided not to see it that way. I decided to see it as a challenge, yes, but also as an opportunity to travel more and see more of this beautiful country. I lived 3 months in Auckland, then I moved around for about a month and a half traveling, and now I'm in Wellington where I'm working. And soon I will be changing city again. Of course, knowing that in a very short period of time I'll have to start looking for a job again can be stressful, but what I did was working very hard, giving everything I had, and that was well repaid. Because when I got here, they didn't make me an interview. I started looking for a job in mid-November, and in 2 weeks' time, I was working. That it's because the employer, before contacting me, decided to call my old employer, and he told him to hire me. So in 2 weeks' time, I had a job. Now I'm working as a receptionist, and I see so many young guys on a weekly basis coming in and looking for a job. For a short period of time. So what I do is travel around, stay for a few weeks in a city, and looking for a job while there to support their trips. They work in hotels, bars, restaurants, hostels, and so on, to find the money to keep paying for their traveling. So now you see how a crappy job has a lot of potential, although it doesn't pay you much. It gives you a lot of flexibility and it brings a lot of possibilities and opportunities when traveling around. When it comes to traveling around, the biggest expenses are always public transportation and rent. As regard transport, we of course can look for some cheap prices, the best deal and offers, but there is not much that we can do. But we can cut on rent. How can we do that? There are different options. So of course you can work as an au pair, as I said before, in exchange for room, board and a little pocket money. Or also there are some volunteer programs that offer room and board, and hostels as well sometimes do so. But my favorite is house sitting. I have been doing it for the past 3 months and have been saving so much money on rent. You cannot imagine. I saved up last month 80% of my salary because I didn't have to pay for rent. And I got to live in beautiful houses. One was very close to the beach, a beautiful, stunning New Zealand beach. And another one had a lake view with a hot tub that I could use, and the owners even left me the car to use, so I was going on road trip on a daily basis. And I used the same technique when I was in Australia back in 2016, and there I lived rent-free for 6 months. So now you can see how you can travel even with a very small budget. And I really hope this video was useful for you, so leave a thumbs up if it was. And please, if you know other tips and tricks that you used before, leave them in the comments below. And subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!